Right, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for not posting this video clip last night. I had some family issues. I had to take care of my daughter. And obviously I'm doing it this morning. I do apologize for a slight delay in that. However, let's continue. Okay, how do we address stress? The 7 types of stress that we've already discussed, as you know, are the physical stress, the mental stress, the emotional stress, and so on. Now, how do we address that? Any one of those stresses, like I've said, will also contribute to the digestion, will contribute to the body freezing up, so to speak, to not function like it should. So it is almost like driving your car with a handbrake on. It cannot function in an optimal way. So when stresses come in any one of those 7 stresses, the body is restricted to functioning in a proper, godly, peaceful manner. Now, how do we address all those? Now, first of all, in nature, I only believe in natural stuff. I believe in what God has given us from creation, number 1, day 1, when He's already given us all the foods. Genesis 1:29 is very clear on that. Verses 26 to 29, very clear on that. Again, herbs are for health and food is for energy. So it's no use having all the energy but you're not healthy. A lot of people do that. And secondly is what we're also going to address in a later video, which I'm going to do quite a long series on, is food preparation. The different types of food, be it vegetables, be it fruit, be it meat, be it fish, all those contribute to nutritional value of what human beings and what people can consume. The majority of people that I've dealt with in the last number of years are basically people that enjoy food, yes, and they want to live healthy, but again, the principle of because of a lack of knowledge, people perish. So it's not what they do, but how they do it. So that is vitally important. I find that probably all people that I've dealt with, that's why they come to us. They want to be healthy. They want to take care of their families. They want to see them progress. They don't want to see them sick. Nobody wants to see their family or themselves even sick and battling. But because of a lack of knowledge, all these things happen. Now, in Jeremiah 17, it clearly speaks about, cursed is the man that leans on the arm of flesh. And man has a lot of answers to a lot of ailments. But there's actually only one solution, and that is turn back to God. So again, I do not apologize for being a Christian. My health book, my wellness book is basically the Bible. There are quite a large number of other books that we can read. Yes, Godse Apteek, brilliant book. All the herbs, all the nutritional value of the herbs, or the chemical construction of what is in the herbs and what is in the food, and a lot of recipes. Yes, they are very nice. Yes, obviously, but I've always been of the opinion, do the right thing instead of doing what is nice. A lot of things are nice to eat, yes. Fizzy cold drinks are nice to drink, but the fact of the matter is the consequences of that is detrimental, and it can be detrimental to your health. It can, again, I'm only speaking from my own experience, and I'm not talking about 1 or 2 or 3 people. I'm talking literally about thousands that I've done over the last number of years. So in food preparation, you will find that when you do your food preparation the nutritional way, you'll eat half of what you actually normally consume. For the simple fact is, in the way that it was prepared is nutritional value and what is not nutritional value. For instance, well done meat or well done food, overcooked food, and it's not the period that you cook it in, it is the heat that you cook it in. Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, all of those are hypersensitive to high heats. Very few people know that stir fry, for instance, the minute you stir fry for longer than 3 or 4 minutes, the nutritional value of that is less than 50% of what it should be because of the heat. Grilled meat sounds good because it's not oily. Wrong. Proper oil, for instance, sesame oil is probably, in my estimation, it is probably the most stable oil to have any food done in, cooked in. I only cook with sesame oil from time to time. I do use olive oil, natural olive oil. But sesame oil is stable from minus 25, 30 degrees centigrade up to 285 degrees centigrade. It is very stable. Whereas olive oil is very good for salads and low cooking and things like that. And when you use olive oil and you go over 85, 86 degrees, it actually tends to turn into an acidity or acid type of oil, which obviously we know that human beings function in an alkaline atmosphere and not an acid atmosphere. So, right, how do we address the issue of stress, nutritional stress? First of all, eat the right food. That's a short version of it. Eat the right food, right prepared, and try not to take tin food. Yes, you can survive on tin food. Yes, you can survive on a lot of other things, but it's not necessary that they are going to contribute to your health and your wellness. So you will survive on it, and on a week or a 10-day trip for camping and so on, that's fine. Go for it. But in general, keep your lifestyle as natural and as raw as possible. Now, I'm not saying that you must eat raw meat. A lot of people come to me and they say, well, they like well-done meat. They cannot eat raw meat. Yet, they want to eat jerky, and they want to eat biltong, and they want to eat dried wors. People wake up. That dry wors and that biltong is actually raw meat. It's just dehydrated. That's all it is. So that is probably your most nutritional meat that you can actually eat, and it's very healthy, especially when it's got some fat on. The Bible also clearly states that it's the fatness that destroys the yolk, and it's not just the meat, the protein. Both of them, again, I will reiterate that it is the combination of foods, not just one thing. I find a lot of people come to me and they say, well, this has worked for my uncle. Good. It's not necessary it's going to work for you. So eat the right food and eat a wide variety. What fruit, what vegetable must we eat? Eat the rainbow. That's the short version of it. The rainbow means all colors, all shapes, all sizes that God has given us on trees and so on. Not all sugars are bad. The only sugar that I've found bad is the processed sugar that you find in foods, processed foods and so on. Fruit sugar in its natural form is 100% fine. The body tends to disperse what is an overdose of those sugars. So you can't just eat oranges, for instance. You can't just eat just grapes. You can't just eat just tangerines. You need to have the right balance of all of those. Then it comes to chemical stress. Chemical stress is basically when, again, when people are smoking, alcohol, drugs, allopathic medicines, man-made stuff, all those are chemically made, and it's a foreign matter, but yet you consume it, so somewhere along the line in your body, it is going to get stuck. And what I find in probably 80%, if not more, of people that have taken some of this stuff, even smoking, even fizzy cold drinks, alcohol, a lot of alcohol. I don't have a problem with a glass of wine. I don't have a problem with a beer or so. But people that consume a liquor like a fish, I mean, that's pushing it a little bit. So you dry out your liver. Alcohol is also a very high water dispersant. That's why you have an hangover. It is basically your brain being dehydrated. Your body is dehydrated because alcohol is hygroscopic. It draws water, and your body is about 80-85% water alone. So when your body is dehydrated because of alcohol, you are in a chemical stress. So you need water, you need H2O, believe it or not. It is vitally important. Then obviously, when we get to mental stress, is mental stress is what you think, how you think, what is bugging you. Is it your family? Is it financial problems? Is it the state of this COVID thing that I simply don't believe in? Because COVID is a code name that was given to the coronavirus. The strongest of the coronavirus is what I've read, what I've actually seen. We've dealt with over 60 cases of positive tested corona people. We gave them the natural stuff, and the majority of them, probably about I would say 95% of them recovered within 2 to 3 days, 100%. Plus, the benefit of that was that their immune systems actually built up such a resistance that they didn't even get a cold, whereas previously they used to get a cold. Every winter, every sniff of a temperature change, they would get a cold or a sniffy nose or sinusitis or something to do with a cold. They didn't get that because they started taking the natural stuff. We make all our own stuff, and we make sure that everything that we put in a capsule is, first of all, it's organic. We make sure that it is natural. We make sure that it's not a GMO. And then I select from the top manufacturers or harvesters that I can get that of. We have very reliable suppliers of that, and I make double sure that what we give people, I believe in integrity, and to me integrity is doing the right thing, even though it may cost me something, but to let it benefit somebody else. Right, then the fourth one is emotional stress, is what Amor and I have just experienced a month ago when my wife passed away. It is very emotional, it is very stressful, it is very high in mental stresses, and I don't ask a lot of questions because in that emotions, we are human beings, we have emotions. There was one place when Lazarus died in the Bible, and even Jesus wept. He had emotional stress. He was heartbroken because the people didn't believe in him. Secondly is his friend Lazarus died, yet he is the resurrection and the life. So I'm not going to preach to you today. Let's address these things. Then you get physical stress, obviously. Physical stress is when you've over-exercised and your body burnt out far more. Replenish what your body burns out, but replenish it not in a man-made stuff. Replenish it in, first of all, the right vitamins, the right minerals. Swimming is different to bodylifting, weightlifting. Is different to marathon running. Is different to cycling. They all burn out different calories, different vitamins, different minerals. You need combinations of all of that. So we do make it. For instance, let me show you some of these things. This is, for instance, our Multivite. I hope you can see it. Let me bring it a little bit closer. This is our Multivite. This is our, let's see, that's our Boost. A lot of the athletes use this, rugby players use this, and we have a lot of testimonies about that where people come back and they testify of how much they benefited. This is ABC. So again, ABC, Boost, and the Multivite is some of the things that we can replenish in the body. The Boost is normally used by high active athletes, rugby players and so on, and they all say their stamina has increased, their physique has increased, their body mass has increased, muscles have increased. We also address the issue of not just the vitamins and minerals, but we also address, and when we scan people, which by the way, I will have a series on what we do and how we scan it with this body scanner, that people can understand how effective this new technology is. It's actually not new technology. It's been from Tesla, where the researchers started, right through to the Russians. They actually almost perfected it. The Germans worked on it as well. So we benefit from about over 100 years of research in this new technology. It's the same technology. It's not New Age. Please don't start with a New Age story. I don't believe in New Age. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe in we can use what God has given us. It's very similar, just far more advanced, that you will find in a hospital with all those monitors on your head and on your body and everything. It all works in frequencies, and they can monitor functions of the body. We just do everything, and all information is stored in the brain. So this technology actually can, in each test, the frequency is changed and it just gets information from the brain. It does not treat you at all. Please don't start with that. We're not going to kill people. We just basically read that, the same as what they do in the intensive care unit with all those monitors. They just read information from a person. And then we can determine the irregularities of that, what is needed. We can go into the hormones, we can go in the RNA, the DNA, the vitamins, the minerals, and basically all it does, it compares the person that I scan with almost, if I read it correctly, it's almost 1 million people over 30 years of research. They get the aggregate of what is healthy. And the technology gives us irregularities of what is not in line with the aggregate of that healthy person. So in general, what we then do is we know what the frequencies are. We actually test it, we program it into this technology. And for instance, if we use, for instance, Moringa oleifera, which is non-radiated, you get 17 different types of Moringa. So Moringa is just, it's a tree. The leaves are ground down and dried, and it's very high in vitamins and minerals. Yes, Moringa is a good thing. You can use it. However, what we found with Moringa, sometimes it's too strong for children. So we downgrade it and put something else on there. And that's how we formulated, or that's how I formulated all the stuff that we actually produce. I know that it works. I don't want to sell things to make money. I want to sell effective things to help people in their health, in their wellness, and to contribute, or at least to eliminate as much stress as what we can. Then we have a product called Corti-Stop. That means the cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which actually sticks to the arteries. That can harden up almost like dried varnish in the arteries, and that is very dangerous. It can actually cause heart attacks, it can cause liver failure, it can cause a lot of things. And in that, it is also made of a number of adaptogens, and the right formulation and the right percentages of each one is in there. So a lot of people use that, the high stress people use that, and it's also a health benefit, believe it or not, because it's very high in vitamins and minerals, the Corti-Stop. So it does two things. It eliminates the stress hormone to a large degree, and it replenishes what is burnt out, because it's also got Siberian ginseng in there, pure Siberian ginseng. And that's how we help people. The adaptogens, basically, to combat stress. Adaptogens are basically plant or natural substances that or at least that counteract on stress. Chamomile is an adaptogen. Vitamins and minerals, magnesium is an adaptogen. Sweet basil or French basil is to a large degree an adaptogen. For instance, if you use sweet basil and French basil dried, and you use it with pure honey, specifically eucalyptus honey, which has a base of menthol in there that enhances and is a counterfeit to colds and flus, which is if you use honey with the basil, you can actually make a sleeping tablet, if you want to call it that. It helps people to sleep better, but that's not the only thing that will help people sleep better. Obviously, stresses, you find a lot of people that sleep, but they don't rest. So if you don't rest, your body is still tensed up, it's still stressed, because of, could be mental, it could be subconscious, it could be nutritional, it could be any one of those. So then we have a product that we formulated some years ago called Sleep Assist. It's got valerian in there, clean, pure valerian. It's got a few other things in there as well. Valerian, by the way, they use to make sleeping tablets, but the extract, I don't do many extracts. I do make tinctures, yes, For instance, skullcap is also a plant, and we make a tincture of that for 6 or 7 weeks. We let it soak, and then we put it in a bottle and use 2 or 3 drops up to half a teaspoon. And I found that skullcap works far better to calm women down and to replenish 5-HTP, to make them sleep better and to just counteract stresses in their bodies. Whereas I found St. John's wort is far better for men. This is just my experience again. I'm not saying that this is an alpha and omega. I'm just saying what my experience is over many years. Then we find obviously traumatic stress. And again, traumatic stress, mental stress, and psychological stress that my daughter and I have just experienced is, I have first-hand experience on that. And trust me, I test myself, I'm not immune to stress. I also, even as a doctor, even as a wellness practitioner, everybody is subject to the world that we live in. And everybody needs to replenish and counteract naturally, without side effects, how to live healthy and how to replenish their bodies in what we have and what we can get. And it's, by the way, it's far cheaper than what chemically made substances or things are. Then the last one is obviously psycho-spiritual stress, and that is where counseling comes in as well. Now, all stresses, again, will burn out vitamins and minerals from your body. There's no doubt about that. So we need to replenish that, and we need to counteract that. Then something that I'm going to make a series of is food preparation. When preparing the right food, when preparing the food that you actually buy, normal meat or fish or vegetables, especially fresh stuff, very good for you. Eat a variety. And don't just eat just meat. Don't just eat just vegetables. Don't just eat just fruit. On that, by the way, my experience is also, I've tested and scanned about 30 vegans, and believe it or not, they have health issues like you cannot believe after 2 or 3 years. So we as human beings need meat, we need fish, we need poultry, we need the fats. Of the 490 different carrier oils, some of them are actually in the meat. Some of them are in the plants. The essential oils are in the plants as well. So, yeah, this is one of many clips I'm going to make specifically on stress. Probably on all the clips I'm going to speak on stress and how to counteract that. Now, the reason why I'm addressing the stress is because the largest majority of people that have asked questions are basically for weight gain, weight loss, specifically people that have gained weight and cannot lose it. And one of probably about 95% of that factor is simply stress. Your body stresses up so it can't function and it can't optimize the energy that it's used. Secondly is also the food that you've eaten was imbalanced. So you don't burn out what you've contributed to your body. And then obviously the body just stores it. Vitally important that we need to address all that. So I'm going to post this, and please people, you're most welcome to contact me again. You will find that on the clip, and I've posted on my Facebook channel. I've posted my adaptogens and things to counteract that. It is in there, so please be free to contact me on that if you will. Thank you. We'll make the next one very soon. Be blessed.